All right, we're back with another Pick'em video. It is Monday, February 9th in the NBA. We have a massive slate today coming off the Super Bowl. I did not make a video yesterday, which is the first time in exactly 1 month. So the consistency has been really good. Hopefully you guys appreciate that. And hopefully you guys tried to enjoy the football game. That was horrible, especially for Patriots fans. But yeah, we're talking basketball today. Huge slate. I got some plays that I'm liking. Tread a little bit lightly here with the NBA. There's a lot of teams that are just completely egregiously tanking right in front of the league's face, and no one's really doing anything about it. So it's definitely harder to predict those teams, but at the same time, I think you can find some good angles there. So let's get into the plays. First recap of yesterday's video picks, or Saturday's video picks, because we had an awesome day Saturday. And then we'll get into the plays for today, and then I'll get you guys right on your way. So rewind back to Saturday the 7th, and we had an awesome day. 3.23 units of profit. And all of the guys that hit absolutely dominated their lines too. But we'll start with the loser, Michael Porter Jr. His brother, Jonte Porter, got, betting scandaled by the league. Was that last year or 2 years ago? They might want to look into this guy. He had 20 points at halftime. I don't even know what happened. Lit on the basket, 23 points to end it. Didn't get there, and that was the first play of the day. So I was like, dang it, that sucks. But then we had Jabari Smith Jr. come through for us. He had 22 points, I believe, had 10 rebounds, great game. And the Rockets win that game without Shea, without J-Dub. That was a no-brainer for plus 146. Donovan Clingan over his 24.5 points and rebounds. He had a 20-20 game, 20 points, 19 rebounds. He absolutely crushed that team. Massive dude, and the Grizzlies just had no chance to guard him. And then Nikola Jokic, rebounds and assists over 19.5. He had 17 assists alone, chipped in with 14 rebounds. And obviously there gets the triple-double too. So yeah, awesome day, awesome reads. Hopefully you guys had some fun with those bets because they were kind of fun ones to go to. And they were just absolute domination with the ones that hit. Michael Porter Jr., the league might want to look into this guy. Let's hop into Props Madness to actually start talking about our plays. And the first guy we're going to jump right into things is going to be AJ Green to knock down 3+ 3-pointers. 2.5 threes on the over. -110 is the price. And you can see last few games he's been awesome. 6 of 11 threes. That's field goals. 5 of 9 threes. 6 of 12 threes. And 4 of 12 threes. The volume's been awesome. That's exactly kind of what I've been looking at. You can see throughout the entire season. It's kind of been up and down, but right now we're seeing a huge uptick, and it makes a whole lot of sense to me. First of all, let's take a look at this Bucks team. Probably should have it pulled up. This is the team. Remember, we got no Giannis Antetokounmpo. We do have Ryan Rollins still running the point, and now we have Kevin Porter Jr. back, which is another guy that can distribute the ball a little bit. Both those guys can score, but they can also take a lot of attention from the defense. And this is a very good catch-and-shoot defense, this Orlando Magic team overall, but their defense has not been the defense we've known for the past few seasons for them. You can see their defensive rating, 15th. Now, 3-pointers allowed. They don't allow a whole bunch. Positionally, 4th. It's a good defense overall for a guy going up against him. But at the same time, AJ Green is one of their, he's kind of their main 3-point shooter. They have a lot of teams have a main 3-point shooter, guys like Duncan Robinson, guys like Sam Merrill. And in these positions, they're still going to get shot opportunities. And they're, sometimes it doesn't even need, these massive shot attempts to be able to go over this line. We're not asking for 4 threes. We're not asking for 5 threes. We're only asking for 3 threes. And this dude's done it in 65% of games. You can look at the 3-pointers allowed, challenging matchups. He's still over in 56% of games. But there's other things that we want to look at here, mainly the thing, Giannis being out of this game. So first I want to look at his minutes, because without Giannis, he's been getting a ton of time. We can see the minutes have been upticked, 37, 36, 30 minutes. Even in the games he wasn't playing very well, 37 minutes here, he just shot horribly. But now we get KPJ back, and we still don't have Giannis. So games without Giannis, he's over this in 41% of games. But we want to remember the minutes he's expected to play today. Now it's looking pretty good, 72% of games when he gets this much time on the floor without Giannis on the floor. The next thing I'll point to is Ryan Rollins is a great player. He's a great scorer. He's been able to distribute a little bit more. But in these tough situations, you want someone to be able to set you up. Giannis, very good at setting people up on above the break threes. He takes a lot of pressure from the defense, and that's even in these hard, difficult catch and shoot spots. That's when you can get those above the break threes, finding open shooters. And a guy like KPJ have been in the league a little bit longer than Ryan Rollins, and he can score really well, but he's also known as more of an assister. He can dime up the ball a little bit. I think he had 10 assists in their last game. So in these games without Giannis, it looks great. But in these games without Giannis and with KPJ, which is those last 3 games we've seen, this is when he's seeing a lot of volume, 11 threes, 12 threes, and 12 threes. And, were these difficult 3-point shooting defenses? These ones were not. But this Pacers defense is very similar to what the Magic try to do. They run guys off the 3-point line, and they funnel you inside. And they're either going to foul you, or they're going to try to defend you in the paint. 3s, more points than 2, and they'll live with you getting to the rim a little bit easier.
and that's how the Pacers play defense. So he still had 12 shot attempts in a difficult matchup against the Pacers. I see something like that happening against the Magic, and I don't think he needs 12 shot attempts. If he's going to get 12 3-point attempts, I'm going to attempted, that's literally his most in the entire league. How about 10 to 12? He's going to absolutely crush this line. But, if he gets max 12 and let's say he gets 7 up, the hit rate's going to be very, very good. So I think AJ Green's going to get the opportunities, even in a difficult matchup here, because KPJ and Ryan Rollins in that pick and roll are going to get a lot of pressure, and maybe they score a bunch of points, but AJ Green should still be able to see some open shots in a difficult matchup. So long-winded way of saying AJ Green's a bucket. He's getting a ton of time in the court. No Giannis, but KPJ back in lineup to set him up for some threes. If you just listen to all that and you're like, Rich, I still don't, but you're kind of maybe just saying stuff. This is a very hard, you see all the red, catch and shoot, difficult spot here. You just got to sometimes look at the minutes. He's expected for a lot of minutes here. And Giannis, sure, great passer, great guy to get you open here, but KPJ's around, and it honestly doesn't even matter. A good hard shot taker, hard shot maker, that's what AJ Green is for this team. I've mentioned guys like Duncan Robinson. We've attacked him purposefully in these hard matchups. We've attacked guys like Sam Merrill in these hard matchups. If he's going to get 38 or 28 to 38 minutes on the court, which is what he's expected for today and what he's been getting in these challenging matchups this season, he's seen 6 of these, and he's over in 5 of 6, averaging 3 3-pointers made. And he had one really bad game in here where he shot over 0 for 6. The volume is there, shot 6 threes. I hope for 7 threes maybe today. 8 would be amazing. But I like the hit rate here, even in these tough spots. And just because I'm talking about this game, I'll point out Bobby Portis, 6.5 rebounds, minus 125 on BetMGM. Pretty solid price tag, I think. Games without Giannis, he's over this in 12 of 18, and he can get a lot more rebounds than 6. Now, he's kind of been in and out of the lineup with an injury, but at the same time, I do expect him to get more than the 20 minutes. If we go over to RotoWire and see his expected minutes today, he's expected for 29, and they're seeing much higher ceiling than floor. So if we're going to go to games without Giannis and he's going to see, let's say, 24 plus minutes, I mean, the hit rate's going to be there. I don't know if I'll fully get to it, but you'll see in the recap. I wanted to point out Bobby just because we're talking about his teammate. Moving to the next play, it's probably going to be a 0.5, 0.75 type of unit play because I can't really trust the Kings at all if they're going to play their guys or not. But DeMar DeRozan to go out there and get some rebounds, it's plus 130 on the over 2.5 boards. Now, the hit rate does not look great here, but he's going against a team that, it's a pretty dang good rebounding matchup. 25th in terms of giving up rebounds. This Pelicans team, not very efficient. Defensive rating 27th. Defensive, rebounds allowed 29th in terms of offensive, 22nd in terms of defensive. They give up a lot of rebounds, essentially what we're seeing here. And in games without Zach LaVine, you might expect DeMar DeRozan to go out there and play a little bit more. 66% of games he's over this in games without a guy like Zach LaVine on the floor. Some of these games, 19 minutes against the Pistons, they lose that thing by 1 million, and he doesn't get any rebounds, but that's a very difficult matchup. This is a very easy matchup, and with all the injuries, if DeMar is going to go out there and play, he's probably not going to get 35 minutes. He's probably going to cap out around 30 minutes just because the Kings are in full tank mode. But even if he's going to get let's say 25 to 32 minutes, he's over this in 66% of games. So plus 130 price tag on a hit rate like this in a matchup like this with the injuries that are got going on. I don't mind it even in a situation that the Kings are tanking. In games without Sabonis, he's also over in 55% of games. Games without Zach LaVine and Sabonis is over in 9 to 12 games with the floor of 2. So it's a weird one, but it popped out to me just because, DeMar DeRozan doesn't seem like a guy that will just sit there and not be a competitor at the end of the day. He might not get as much time as he usually does, but it's seeming like one that looks pretty dang good with what we got in terms of hit rates, and especially for the price tag of plus 130.
And then again, I want to look at another play in this same game, Kings-Pelicans, and I'm looking at Zion, 23.5 points over that. It would be minus 105 in terms of the price on DraftKings. He's got a really good matchup. 95% of his shots come within 10 feet. They rank 30th there. They also foul a whole bunch, so he can do some damage in both ways, whether they gets the shot up and gets the ball in, or he's going to get to the free throw line. He's got a perfect matchup for both of those things. He's not played the Kings yet this season, but we already bet on DeMar's over, so kind of nice to have 2 overs at least. And this is like the battle of some bad teams here. 8-point spread in favor of the Pelicans, which is crazy to see them as 8-point favorites, but that's just how bad the Kings are. I think Zion should be able to dominate in a game like this. In terms of his closing line, his line has not been this high recently. The last time we saw his line this high, back-to-back games here that he got it, and then the one game that was really high, the closing line was 26.5. He also crushed that against the Wizards. So when his points line is higher, he seems to be going over that, and that's kind of the indication I have today. And if we want to just look at games that he's going against weak points in the paints defense, they're ranked 28th today, this Kings
defenses. In these favorable games, he's over in about 58% of those. He should get the time on the court as well. He's going to be, probably hovering around that 32-minute mark, which is kind of what he's been getting, especially in matchups like these. So I don't mind it. His floor is very low. His floor is very high, 22-point floor in a lot of these games too. So if I'm going to get, 25 plus minutes from a guy like Zion, again, those floors are very low, 28 plus minutes, the floor 22 points. And I'm not expecting 38 minutes, but if we can get, 28 to 38, this is what we're looking at, averaging around 26 points a game. So I like Zion in this matchup. I think he can crush these guys down low, and that's another one for the Kings-Pelicans game. Moving on to the Bulls and the Nets, very, very weird game. The Bulls traded 1 million players. Now they have 8 new players on the squad, including Collin Sexton. And then the Nets, who don't have MPJ today, they don't have Igor today, so 2 of their main usage guys are out of this lineup today. So a weird game overall, but I do like Collin Sexton. Points and assists is 18.5. His first game with the Bulls, he played 29 minutes, which I love to see. He had 17 points and chipped in with 4 assists. So I'm looking at the points and assists, minus 118 on the over. He's got a great matchup to go ahead and get to the basket, which is how he scores most of his points. He can get some threes, but he does a lot more of his damage within 10 feet, and very weak down-low defense for the Nets today. And he's played these guys twice, but obviously different situation, different team. He was on the Hornets before. Now he's on the Bulls with a lot of guards and more potential to play. He had 18 points and assists, with 15 points and 3 assists. And then he had 15 points and 2 assists, but you can see the minutes, 19 and 17 minutes. This is a guy that on the Hornets never got that much time. But when he did get that much time, again, 29 minutes yesterday, that was a 16-point loss to Denver, totally different defense. He played pretty dang well, got over this line pretty dang easily. Now let's go to this team. Let's go to the projected minutes for them. Collin Sexton projected for 26. But they're saying it's a huge margin. And I like to see he got 9 minutes last time. So I'm going to bump this up to 25 plus minutes. I think that's what we're going to see from him today. And now he's over in 82% of games. Can absolutely get stats in a hurry in that bench role, which is what he's still playing on the Bulls. And I think he can take advantage of the Brooklyn Nets, who are in full tank mode, first of all, but just not a very good team overall. Now, defensively, 2 guards, they are typically better, but I think Sexton can take advantage of these guys like he did, especially in the bench role. So Sexton, weird one again, very, very weird slate, even though it's a big slate, a lot of weird stuff happening. And I like Collin Sexton with the extra time in the court to do some damage today. So that's going to do it for the official video picks. I do have some leans though. So if you made it this far in the video, go ahead and like the video, give us some good luck, comment something down below. I'll respond to most all the comments. And I don't want to force anything. There's a lot of uncertainty in today's slate. And I'm not going to run through all the projected minutes and all the injury news just because there's so much and a lot of things I think I'd be guessing on. So with a big slate like this, with the All-Star break looming, with a lot of changes happening, I don't want to give a whole bunch of information that I can't be, as confident as I typically am on. So I'm going to run through the leans, some bigger name guys. Tyrese Maxey, I'm going to talk about. James Harden, I'm going to talk about other guys that are in, bigger roles or smaller roles than what they've been seeing. So that's what we're going to go to right now. So if you want to stay tuned for that, I got some more plays if you didn't like those original plays, just to give you guys some more options of things that I am looking at. So I'll start with Tyrese Maxey here as the first lean. 33.5 points and assists is the line. I like to see he's gone over the last few games. It's kind of been up and down recently with Embiid really going in, scoring 30 plus points in most games here. But I love the matchup here for Maxey. Pick and roll ball handling, weak for the Blazers. Transition, weak for the Blazers. Pull up, weak for the Blazers. Free throws, he can get to the line a little bit. So I like this matchup a little bit more for Maxey than a guy like Embiid. And Embiid's also questionable, so we don't even know if he's going to play. We do know Paul George is out for the next, 20 or so games. So I like Maxey in this spot. Games with Embiid, he's still over this in 60% of the last 20 games. He sometimes even plays a little bit better with Embiid, with taking a little bit of pressure off him. So in those pick and rolls, they got to focus on Embiid a little bit too on those rolls. So a guy like Maxey could get to the rim here, especially considering all these guys are doing the scouting reports. They know Embiid's been cooking, and a guy like Maxey might be able to do some damage. But this game is specifically when I'm looking at this Pacers game. Maxey shot 24 times in that thing. He got a lot of volume. It was a 40-minute game for him. They won that thing by 9, but they play defense very, very similar to the team that they're playing today, the Blazers. They allow a lot of points in the pick and roll ball handling right here. Pick and roll ball handling, they rank 29th, but they don't allow a whole bunch of shots from above the break threes. They rank 10th there. So in these difficult above the break 3 matchups, challenging matchups, Maxey's still over in 33% of those games with Embiid in the lineup. But they also, again, they're very weak to the pick and roll ball handler. These favorable matchups here, that would be this Pacers game that we saw him have 8 assists and he had 29 points. So that's kind of the game that I'm focusing in on. I think Maxey's got a pretty dang good spot to do some damage here. And again, only a lean just because his recent form has not been amazing, but something I think you guys could get some action down on, especially if you didn't like the earlier picks.
Next lean I was looking at was going to be James Harden under his 22.5 points, -110. He's going against the Nuggets, and the matchup's very mediocre. It's not glaringly great. It's not glaringly bad. And obviously Harden on a new team here, kind of trying to mesh well with a guy like Donovan Mitchell. So I'll look at that last game, and it's a 1-game sample size, but he did have 23 points. It was against the Kings, who are bad. He did just have 25 points against the Nuggets on January 30th before he got traded. But this is the game I'm looking at. He only shot 13 times. He shot very efficiently, especially from 3. He had 5 of 8 from 3. I don't know if you can expect that every game. Maybe James Harden's just going to pick and choose his shots and shoot a very good percentage. But again, only shot 13 times in this game. So I'll point to that first. If he's going to get, let's say, less than 15 shots, the hit rate's obviously going to drop here. I don't know if that's going to be a normal thing for him in the Cavs. He was a very good distributor in his first game with the Cavs. But the next thing I'll point to is the fact that, like, when he's the main guy, he scores a lot more. We can see in these games, we'll go to teammates, and we'll go to games without Kawhi Leonard, and we're going to see the hit rate is massive. You know, that's when he gets 31 points a game over this 92% of games. So I'm kind of thinking Kawhi's usage is kind of like a guy like Donovan Mitchell's usage. And if you go back and go to games without Kawhi, with Kawhi, you're going to see the points per game almost drop off by 8. He's still averaging 23. He's a great player, but he's only over this at 46.9% of games. This is why it's a lean, because I don't have a lot of sample size with Harden being that second option in terms of scoring. We do have 32 games, and he's not over 50% of the time, but he's only playing the Cavs for 1 game. But I like that he only shot 13 times. That's really the thing I'm looking at for this lean. 15 or less shots. He's not going to get there too often. And he probably wants to mesh with this team. He probably wants to be that facilitator that Garland used to be able to be. But Garland could also be a scorer at times, especially when a guy like Donovan Mitchell isn't playing particularly well. I don't think that's going to be the case. Donovan Mitchell had a great game against this team last time. He shot a lot of shots too, 24 shots. And a guy like Garland had, I think, 18 points in that game and chipped in with 8 assists. So Garland and Harden are not the same player, but I see kind of like similar roles in what they're trying to do with them. And Harden's going to bring his own tools to this Cavs team. That's why they went out and traded for him. But 22.5 just seemed maybe a little bit too high for me. With Donovan, potentially having a big game here and Harden being more in that distributor role. I'm not saying he's not going to have 18, 19, 20 points. I just see it a little bit harder for him to get that 23, 24, 25 points. And another guy I'm liking, Cason Wallace. I do expect him to get the time in the court. J-Dub is back for this team. Still no Shea, still no AJ Mitchell. And we've seen the minutes for Cason Wallace be pretty stagnant around 30 minutes, I'd say, over the last few games. And he's projected for around that today, 25 to 35 minutes, which I do like to see. I also like to see his uptick in volume here. He's really been the guy that's been able to shoot a decent amount without Shea in the lineup. But honestly, even just since this game, pretty much, he started shooting a lot more. That was a game without J-Dub, without AJ Mitchell. Shea played in that one. Shot 11 times. This is a game, Shea played this one too. This is a 10-point win. He shot 14 times. This is a game he just shot horribly, 2 of 7, only played 23 minutes probably because of that, but it was also a 36-point game blowout, so he didn't get extra time in the court there. Then this, when Shea starts missing games, 16 shots, and then 16 shots again. This was against a Rockets team that was a very difficult defense. So J-Dub's going to come back, but I don't expect him to play a ton of time. And Cason Wallace's, shots have gone up tremendously, pretty much. You can see the field goals attempted. It's a really nice line to see if we're going to be attacking it over. 10 plus points for a guy like Cason Wallace. I don't mind it. If he's going to shoot, let's say 9 plus times, this is what we're looking at the hit rate for the entire year. And then you consider his matchup against the Lakers. It's not a bad one. It's not a great one. You can see guys in positions have been going over recently. If he's going to get 10 to 16 shots, which is really what he's been more likely getting, it's over in 5 of 7 games. So definitely a lean. I haven't seen a ton of history behind it, but he has been getting a lot more time. We'll see if J-Dub affects that, but I think he's expected for like 30 or so minutes. So that will do it for this one. I've got the recap pulled up here, and you're going to see Tyrese Maxey there. I did make him an official video pick. I do think we have enough information to go to a guy like Tyrese Maxey in a pretty good spot here, But guys like James Harden still definitely going to be more like a lean because we don't have too much information with him on the Cavs just yet. Guys like Cason Wallace, I haven't seen him play with J-Dub a whole bunch and without Shea, so that's more of, again, a lean. You're kind of predicting that. And then Bobby Portis rebounds. He is coming off, he's been dealing with an injury. He doesn't have the most amazing matchup to rebound the ball. I do think he could crush his line, but at the same time, just going to stay away from it. I don't want to force anything here. So we do have 5 official video picks today. AJ Green over his threes. We talked about it at the beginning of the video. He's getting a lot of time, and he's got one of those hard shot takers, hard shot makers, and I think he could do that again for the Bucks today in a pretty good spot. The volume should be there. DeMar DeRozan, the weirdest play of the day, but only 0.75 units on it. 2.5 rebounds, not something he's been getting much recently, but there's a lot of injuries for the Kings. They are tanking, but I can expect at least hopefully 25 minutes from DeMar DeRozan, and typically he can grab 3 rebounds in that time. And this is a plus 130 play, so I don't mind the value there. Zion in a pretty good matchup. His line's higher than it usually is, but I think for good reason. He can take advantage of that matchup down low and get a whole bunch of points. Maybe get to the free throw line a bunch today too. Collin Sexton with more minutes on the floor. If he's going to get 25 plus minutes, he can do some damage for some points and some assists, and he's got a great matchup to do so again against the Nets. And then Tyrese Maxey was going to be a lean, but might as well throw him in there. It's a big slate. I don't want to have nothing down. So 4.75 units on 5 plays. I think that's pretty good for this big slate, even with a lot of uncertainty going on. That'll do it for me in this one. Obviously, this video coming out a little bit later than usual. I got up a little bit later than usual today, so I got a later start. But all the analysis and everything was the same as it always is. Those are the 5 plays that I'm really liking. Gave you guys some leans as well. And of course, like the video, comment something down below. You guys crushed the like button in the last video. We had a really good day, but you guys got over 100 likes. If you guys keep doing that and you're interested in getting like a free month in my Discord, just for trying it out, we'll do more giveaways and things like that. But there's no links in my description right now. I think you can find my Discord link, but for the next few days, I'm just trying no links to see if that helps YouTube push my videos out a little bit more. I don't know if they don't like links or something. I'm just trying to get out of YouTube purgatory here, where they're just simply not showing my videos to people that aren't subscribed to me. But the people that are subscribed to me, I appreciate all you guys. And if you're new, let me know in the comments down below. And I appreciate to see that, to see that at least some people, to new people, are seeing my videos. But we've been crushing it. Really, really good day Saturday. We'll get back on track. Again, didn't upload yesterday for the first time in a month, and I expect to do that once again. We've been crushing it, and we've been consistent, and that's what it's all about. So enjoy the NBA. Don't go too crazy in the NBA. Weird stuff going on right now. And some lines I might be like, this is a home run play, and then the guy ends up getting like 10 less minutes than he usually does, or some vice versa that. Maybe some guy gets 48 minutes, Isaiah Collier style. But it's weird stuff going on. All-Star break is coming. I got to figure out what I want to do for videos during that time. But yeah, I'm Bamla at this point. I'll let you guys go. Thank you guys for watching and all the support. I appreciate it. See you in the next one. Peace out.